We're no strangers to winter road trips. This year, we're taking a January road trip to Rhode Island, but this trip is a little different. It's the first time we will not be taking a gas-powered vehicle, but instead we'll be taking our fully electric Rivian R1S. After years of waiting, the summer of 2024, we finally got our electric Rivian R1S. Since then, we've taken some local camping adventures and tested out some of the awesome features.
We're in cruise control and my feet are not touching anything right now. Car in front of me just moved and I've just moved too.
For the most part, we've stuck to local spots because the one time we used a fast charger, we had a massive battery error.
System failure detected. Vehicle battery issue.
And our charging options were limited, but we recently received our next adapter for the Rivian, and now it will let us charge at certain Tesla chargers, which opens up more flexibility in our charging options. Now there's already a ton of Rivian road trip videos out there, so instead of taking you through all the details of our trip, we're just going to focus on 3 key areas: weather, charging, and navigation. Our trip started just a couple of days after a pretty big snowstorm hit our house, and another potential storm was on its way. Luckily, the storm that would have hit us during our trip fizzled out, but we were left with extremely cold weather.
We just made our first stop in Maryland to drop off our dogs, and now I feel like our trip kind of
Actually begins. We just had a big snowstorm come through. Here it's not as much snow, but it's open, wide open fields, so there's a lot of drifts and everything.
And we went across the Bay Bridge, which usually can really feel the wind. How's the Rivian wind?
The Rivian's so heavy, and we're in conserve mode, so it's lower than it normally is. It's fine. Like you hear it, but you don't feel it, which is really nice. So I'm not fighting the steering wheel the whole time.
And even though it turned out to be a bright, beautiful day, it was still really cold.
Alright, it's cold. Whew.
It never got above freezing, but surprisingly, it didn't affect our efficiency.
Looks like we averaged 2.05 miles per kilowatt hour, and we used a total of 217 kilowatt hours. For efficiency, it's pretty spot on what the car should be doing.
We were very happy with the overall efficiency, considering we've heard a lot of stories about how quickly EV batteries can drain in the cold weather. Also, once we got to our destination, the Rivian slept outside in the cold and it only lost 2 miles of range overnight. Now let's talk charging. Our first charging stop was in Mount Laurel, New Jersey at a Tesla Supercharger.
Gotta get our adapter.
Good. We're charging.
Right. We are charging at the Tesla charger.
I think they're the newer model because they have the longer cable. So we just pulled in like a normal charger instead of like Rivian, because of where the charging port is. Usually with the short cables, you end up taking up a separate spot. This one we just pulled in, just like a normal one, plugged in. But this is super nice, and there's so many chargers and open charging spots here.
While the car charges, on the dash you can see how many miles you're getting an hour, how many miles you've charged up to, and the price that you're being charged.
How you're charged, somehow it knows our car.
Yeah, Tesla charger plugs into its Rivian. It goes through the Rivian, so I'm getting charged through Rivian technically, but it's Tesla's just passing that buck along to Rivian. It is currently charging at 530 miles an hour. And at home we get 16 miles an hour. So this is very, very, very fast.
Here watching YouTube, and all of a sudden we have now this kind of error saying unplug and try again.
Green.
Alright, so we'll see how it goes now. So that seemed to fix whatever problem it was, and now we're back charging again. Now we're trying to figure out what we're supposed to charge to, because originally it was saying we needed to charge for
21 minutes, but 21 minutes is relative because what if the charger's faster or slower? What if, like ours, it's stopped in the middle? But then it's saying we need to charge to 68%, but then we get to Fairfield for the next charger with 15, but is 68% for what it is with conserve, or 68% is what it should be for all purpose?
That is saying now we need to charge up to 85%, I guess.
But then a better route planner says we'll need to charge 68%, which is a big difference in time. So I think it could do better with letting us know what it is for whatever mode you're in.
We started charging at 9:52 and now it's 10:32.
So 40 minutes.
40 minutes and $40.
It was charging at 550 miles per hour, and then we had a fault. I unplugged, plugged back in, then it only maxed out about 250, so it really slowed down. Now I'm about to go unplug and we'll continue the trip. So I just put it in reverse, and it came up and has a system fault. So you can see down here it's in turtle mode, and there's a battery fault.
Day one with our Rivian. So here's the situation. We got the Rivian, we charged, and then when we got back in the car, we had an error message. System failure detected, vehicle battery issue. So we got to call the 24/7 service desk. We had to do a hard restart of the car. That didn't make it go away. They asked if we felt safe driving it home.
I said, why not?
Now it's got to go back to the service center.
I'm going to do a hard reset on the car and see if that fixes it, and we'll see how it goes.
Now we got to remember how to do the hard reset.
Ready?
Okay, so we're gonna do this. You mash the hazard and
the far left button.
It's gonna restart the car. Anyway, so we did that last time and it did not fix the issue. When it's in turtle mode, what does that mean?
It's limited on power. I can still do highway speeds, but I can like accelerate and everything, which isn't too big of a deal, but it's still not something you want to just ride around in. But we'll see what happens.
Oh, well, hopefully this fixes the issue.
So it just restarted. It looks like it just fixed it, but let's put it in reverse and see. That's better than we were before. All right, well, I guess that's working. That makes me very happy. So we'll get back out on the road. And
Remember when we were trying to figure out the math of charging?
with 15, but it's 68% for what it is with conserve.
Well, we would soon find out our answer.
It recalculated, having us stop again before we get to Connecticut, another stop at Jersey, because I guess I didn't go enough. I really don't want to be going through New York City and having low charge just in case. Do a quick charge and then keep going.
We are sitting here charging at the Tesla stations. It is full here.
It's pretty busy, and I'm taking up 2 spots, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, kind of feeling judged because we have to take up 2 spots to charge. Eeh.
Everything went well. I have a lot of anxiety sitting here waiting for other Teslas to show up and cuss me out.
All right, let's put it in reverse and hope for no errors.
Doesn't look good.
Yay, we're all good.
For the remainder of the trip to Rhode Island and back, we had no other charging issues. And we actually had fun making the most of our charging time by catching up on all of our YouTube favorites. And now, the question you're probably wondering, how much did we end up paying to charge? Well, just for the trip to Rhode Island and back, we paid $172 for charging. The cost was pretty shocking considering charging at our house typically cost about 12 cents a kilowatt hour. But on the road, we were charged an average of a whopping 49 cents a kilowatt hour. That's something to definitely be aware of if you're planning an EV road trip. And how long did it take us to charge? Well, overall, it was about 3 hours during our entire round trip, but we were able to incorporate breakfast, lunch, and bathroom breaks into our stops. Now, moving on to navigation. Before I start talking about the navigation, I want you to first know that we love our Rivian. It looks great, it's extremely comfortable, and I've never felt more safe in a vehicle. But Rivian, you need to work on your navigation system. From the beginning of the trip, the navigation system was trying to take us hours out of the way just to hit Rivian Adventure Network chargers.
Rivian bought them a better route planner. I mapped it in there and it gave us the most direct route with charging in there. So I'm going to map directly to that charger, which is in New Jersey. It's a Tesla charger because I got the Tesla adapter, and we're going to see how that goes.
I just realized we had on avoid tolls and we didn't include preferred networks Tesla chargers. So sorry Rivian, maybe that's actually on us.
But the more we drove, the more we realized other problems, like some of the Tesla chargers Rivian tried to map us to didn't show up on the Tesla app or on Google.
Moment of truth. Let's see if there is a charger in this shopping center.
I think there is. If they're working, that's different, but...
There's chargers.
Or the chargers would have a poor rating on Google saying that it would take a long time to actually get to the chargers. And through the duration of the trip, we continue to experience directional issues.
We are trying to get onto 95, even though it did not map us this time to the RAN, it's taking us north. So I ended up having to map it on Google, which is saying, turn around. We just need to get on 95 south, and I don't know why Rivian really wants to take us north to then go south. We said this a couple times, but lessons learned is always double check Rivian against Google.
Especially if something seems off.
Yeah.
Using an EV, it definitely takes more planning, because you can put in your home address and just have it map you all the way.
The Rivian app doesn't really let you go in and say, well, I don't want to go to this charger, and it redirect you to a different charger. I think the only way you could do that is maybe if you put the actual charger in as a stop.
So what are our final thoughts on taking the Rivian on a road trip? Despite the cold, windy weather, our overall ride was smooth and we were pleasantly surprised with the overall efficiency we had. Sure, we ran into an issue with charging, but our previous charging error experience helped us to remain calm and troubleshoot the issue. Really, the most challenging part was incorporating charging into the navigation, and it just takes more planning. We have full confidence that Rivian will continue to improve its navigation system, and the great thing about having an EV is that we'll continuously get updates over the air. This trip has made us more comfortable with taking our EV on longer trips, which is exactly what we hope to gain from this experience. As always, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to our channel. We're new to this. Talking, I mean.
No, he's definitely not new to talking.